So I've always admired my grandmother and grandfather's love story. They met each other when they were 14 years old. Now, they haven't always gotten it right, and yes, they've had their ups and downs, but with work, great work, and consistency, they've been married 50 plus years. And I began to ask them, what would you say is the key to a long lasting marriage? And here's what they said to me: connection. Connection is the key. It is the connection you have with each other that's going to bring you guys back to each other, even on your worst days. That's why we here at MSW Productions have been spending the last couple of months filming other married couples and some newly engaged couples connecting with each other. With the help of this wonderful card game, We Are Really Not Strangers, the Couples Edition. Here's what our intention is on bringing this show to you. Our intention is that we have seen the disconnect in some marriages. And me personally, I know some people who are married where their marriage has just gone to a different direction. And what we want is to restore marriages and teach people how to connect with each other. Because I just believe that in order to really heal something, you have to have the conversation about it. And there lies the connection. So I hope that this makes you cry. I hope that this makes you laugh. But most of all, I hope that it teaches you to connect with your spouse to restore your marriage. God bless you, and I can't wait to see you again. And about the card game, if you want it, because it's really a good card game, go to your local Target in the game section to get it. God bless you.
In your opinion, how am I holding myself back the most?
How are you holding yourself back the most? Your potential is unlimited. You're more of an introvert, uh, and I think you've come a long ways in the way you deal with people, the way you interact with people. And if I had to say, that would be the one area I think that you may be holding yourself back. But other than that, um, I think you're doing a fantastic job. In your opinion, how am I holding myself back the most?
I think you sometimes worry a little bit too much about how you're perceived in general. For instance, the prime example that I can think of is you have a beautiful singing voice and you'll sing happy birthday to people and you'll sing, but you won't, for instance, you won't do anything. So many people have told you to do something with the worship team and you won't pursue that. And I feel like that's a gift that you've been given that you're not using because I think you're afraid, what if it's not received well? How you'll feel about that.
I think that's a fair assessment. What do you think I struggle to open up about in our relationship?
I feel like after what we went through a couple of years ago, that we pretty much don't have secrets anymore. So you opened up about a lot of things, and we've been open about a lot of things. I think that you have a lot of shame where all that is concerned. And so you don't like to discuss it ever. Like if I'm having a bad day or I'm having a whatever moment where that's concerned, if I bring it up, you perceive it as an attack versus just opening up about, because sometimes I just want to know, like, why did that stuff ever happen, or how can we prevent that? And I realize that I can't bring it up and talk about it to throw it in your face, so to speak. But sometimes I just want to know, like, we're not going down that path again. Um, and you just want to hide it. Now, I won't say so to the point where you act like it didn't exist, like it never happened, but at the same time, you don't want to ever be reminded of it because you think if I'm thinking about it, that we haven't gotten past it, and that's just not true.
Well, in a way, it's a lot of, guilt and shame. Um, is, I don't think I struggle with it, but I do want to put that behind us. And I know it's a constant a reminder, and I know how deeply I hurt you and how much it affected. Um, and I credit being able to accept what I did wrong and how deeply I hurt you. And I don't want to revisit that because I know it's like a sword. It cuts deep, and I would much rather put that in our rearview mirror. And I'll never although I know you've forgiven me for it. It's something that neither one of us will ever forget. Uh, but I know that my relationship with Christ, uh, it just enables me to deal with it each and every day, and it's only made my love for you grow deeper, and our relationship, in my opinion, has become stronger.
But if I bring it up, I just want you to know. If I say something, you're quick to say, "Oh, I thought you forgave me for that," but you didn't really forgive me for that. And I want you to realize that's not the case. Like, I can still have a moment and still have forgiven you.
Exactly, and I know how much it hurt. So in a way, I do want to, bury it and not really ever have to think about it again.
I get that.
But
I mean, a wound will fester if you keep picking at it. I do get that.
But again, I know where I am in my relationship, which has only made our marriage stronger.
For sure. What do you think I struggle to open up about in our relationship?
That's a good question. I don't think you really struggle with a lot of things as far as, I know in our everyday conversations, um, I may be, dealing with something at work, and I know it's not fair to you when I come home, and, I may still be carrying that with me. And I'll try to open up to you about it, and sometimes I struggle with it. But as far as you struggling with things like that, you're more the level-headed one, whereas I sometimes will go off in my own little world, but I don't think you really struggle with a whole lot, as opposed to some of the things that I struggle with.
And that's maybe so far from the truth. Like, I struggle all the time. I just don't verbalize it. But I struggle. And that's why, like, here lately with everything that's been going on with your health and the fear and all of that, like, you're not used to me being afraid or showing fear or showing my anxiety or anything like that. And that's probably why we've rubbed a little bit, because you're not used to me ever like bringing stuff home. Like, I don't bring my work home, my frustrations and all that. I just let it go. And I am a very easygoing, kind of laid back person. I've always been told that. But I do struggle. And sometimes I need you to realize that, you know what, she might be going through some things too. Because remember, anything that you go through, I'm going through. And if it affects you in a negative way, then it may just affect me even more, because, like, when it's your health issues, like I've told you, like, I feel like it's my job to take care of you in a lot of ways. And so don't assume that I don't struggle just because I don't show it, because I do.
And I know that, and I appreciate it. I mean, each and every night before I go to sleep, I know, I may not say it to you, and I might share it with, like Nate or somebody at work, how appreciative I am of you, because I know that you're in this with me, because when I hurt, you hurt, and it's been a tremendous, receiving all this news, just simultaneously back to back, and I know this is weighing just as much on you as it is on me.
True that.
What's one way our relationship has gotten better over time?
There's so many ways. But if I had to narrow it down to one, probably the fact that you listen better. You, in the earlier part of our relationship, and probably prior to you, when you stopped drinking and all of that, it seemed like you wanted to be the one that was seen and heard and get attention in every area. And everything was all about you. Like, there have been many times I felt like you cared about you and I cared about you, and everybody was good as long as you were good. And I was happy doing that, don't get me wrong. Because I don't like to be the center of attention. I like to be the person behind the person, and you're that person. So I loved being the person behind you and all of that. But there were many times I didn't feel heard, and now I feel heard more from you. So you've definitely started listening better and reacting and responding to what you see and hear.
I couldn't agree with you more, and it goes back again to when I decided that I wanted to change in my life, and I decided that alcohol wasn't going to be a part of our lives anymore, and I know the damage that
You're supposed to ask me.
That I had done to it. What's one way our relationship has gotten better over time?
Well, you just asked me that, didn't
Exactly.
you?
So it's my turn to answer that.
Sorry, what's one way our relationship has gotten better over time? I apologize.
Because we're better. I think we're stronger now as a couple, because of I decided to things that I was doing that I know were hurtful and detrimental to our marriage. And again, it all goes back to not having a relationship with Christ. And once I made my mind up that I wanted to try another way of life, and made the decision I wanted to become a better husband, but also wanted to, listen and not be so quick to speak,
And you made that one of your life things. You say all the time that you want to be slow to speak and quick to listen.
Exactly.
And that was never you before. You just talked
right.
to hear yourself talk.
and you're right. There were times when I felt like I was the only person in the room. And I can look back over, the last 15, 20 years, my behavior back then. And you nailed it. That person no longer
But that
exists.
person, I don't want you to get it wrong. That person wasn't always bad, and that person wasn't always whatever words you're thinking in your head, obnoxious or annoying or whatever. Like, you were a great guy, you were a likable guy, you were a fun guy. Like, I don't want you to think that you were all bad before, because I would have never loved you had you ever been all bad. You've never been all bad. You did some bad things, you had some bad moments, but you've never been all bad. And don't ever look back on your life and think that you were all bad, because you were never all bad.
Oh no, I don't look at it like that. I just know that the person I am today, uh, I, I sometimes glance in the mirror and see, just for a split second, that that's the person that I no longer want to be associated with.
Some parts of that person, that's what I'm trying to get you to see.
Right.
There are still some parts of that person that were wonderful. So don't just totally throw that old guy away, because that
No,
old guy
no.
is still a part of who you are now.
Right. There were attributes back then that I still enjoy today. But I agree with you. I'm a different person now.
You're just like the new and improved. You're the same
Exactly.
person. You're just the new and improved.
Yeah, I just got rid of
You got rid of a lot of demons.
a lot of demons and a lot of baggage that I knew I needed to shed.
Whose turn is it? Mine or yours?
It's your turn right now.
Yeah, you keep
young
it
lady.
straight, because obviously I can't. Finish this sentence. Thank you for accepting blank about me.
Thank you for accepting the change, the new person that I become. Just not giving up on me when I was at the door of our marriage totally disintegrating, and you had faith in me, and you didn't just give up on me. And for that, I'm just eternally grateful that you didn't,
I am too.
decide, and you gave our marriage another chance. And I'm a better person for it, and I love you more now. I'm in love with you, and I just never stopped to see just how important you are to me, and I almost lost it. And I thank God that you had faith in me and did decide to pull the plug.
Thank God you did the hard work. And I don't know how to say this. Thank you for accepting blank about me. Thank you for putting up with my need to almost control. I think I've gotten a lot better, but the whole I used to say I'm a planner. That was my excuse for wanting to control everything. But all of that basically was fear. And I still get scared of losing. Like, the thing I fear the most is losing the people that I care about the most. So you, the kids, things like that. But you put up with a lot of my need to control or need to be on top of everything. And I thank you for accepting that about me over the years.
What is it that I can do for you in the season of your life that you're in right now?
Just continue to take care of me, even though, like, we're so focused on your health right now, and I have taken on more of a caretaker role. Like, I still need you to be that strong man that has always taken care of me. I still need you to be the safe place that I run to. I still need you to put your arms around me and make the rest of the world go away.
I can do that, it would indeed be my pleasure to continue doing that, because I am your safe place that you can run to and put your arms around and know that you're loved and wanted, needed, and desired. And don't ever forget that.
What's one thing that I can do for you now in this season that you're in right now?
This season I'm in right now, you can just continue to be the loving, caring, compassionate wife that you are. And that means more to me than you can imagine. I don't know what I would do without you. And you're not just my caretaker. You're my best friend. You're the love of my life. And if I had it to do all over again, I would still choose you.
You're watching an MSW production.